on tip 2. Tip 3 is to just not shout at them. I think that seems pretty obvious. Everyone say, oh, don't shout at them, you know, it's only going to escalate it, but the temptation is there. And put my hands up, I have shouted at her numerous times, in public even, and it doesn't work. It makes you feel really bad. It makes you feel, you regret it almost instantly, because you feel all this anger build up and you just let it out. So you've completely lost control of yourself, and that feels terrible in itself, that you can even control that. You feel worse about not being able to control your child, that they're having a tantrum. And then the worst thing, the way they look at you when they're shocked, maybe scared, like if my husband shouts at her, he's got a much more booming voice, and that can be scary to a little child. So yeah, it doesn't work. It just escalates things. So I just try to not do that at all now, and I just go through with the other steps instead. So that takes me to the 4th tip, which is to give them an out. Now, that's quite an interesting one. It's from the whole good cop, bad cop theory. So, and from my own experience as a child, remembering how it was like to have a tantrum, to get so angry, to get to the point that I almost didn't know what I was angry about, but I was just really super mad at my parents, and it was no longer about the original thing that I wanted. It was now just a face off with my mom, because I was embarrassed and hated her in that moment for not giving me what I wanted, or just for not being on my side. I suppose that's how I would have seen it. So by definition, that makes you the bad cop, unfortunately. You're the one who shouted at her, you're the one who said no, you're the one who's not allowed her to have whatever it is that she wants. So you are bad cop, and you're trying to go through all those other things and they're not working. Maybe you're shouting at her. You may not have wanted to, but you might have resorted to that. We all have, I have. So you're the bad cop. She's not going to listen to you. She's not going to suddenly go, oh yeah, sure mom, okay, you can just like shout at me and be mean and say no, and I'm going to be okay with that, and you're shouting at me even louder, and I'm going to be okay with that. No, that's never going to happen. It's going to make her feel scared and angry at you. She'll resent you, and she might even remember it later as well, and be some kind of warped, horrible memory. So I want to avoid all that and just not shout at her at all. But I am the bad cop. So enter the good cop. And this works when you've got a partner with you, a friend, or your husband or your wife. So I've done my part. Unfortunately, she hasn't listened. I let her just maybe 30 seconds to a minute, just like be on her own, try and think it through, or if she's still crying, tantruming. And then the good cop comes through and goes down to her level and kind of whispers, takes it really slowly, and he's like a completely different person, and he gives her the out. He gives her that opportunity to just save her dignity, because I think at that age still, even though it's young age, they have an awareness, self-awareness, they want to keep their pride, they have a lot of pride, and yeah, their ego. So he bends down, kneels down next to her, and he just whispers, look, you know, baby, it's not a nice situation to be in, is it? I know you're upset. Don't worry. Look, why don't you stop crying? Give me a big hug, and it will make it all better, and we'll go outside and do something more fun. Doesn't matter what happened here. We can just move on. And it's so amazing because it works.
Staying still.
Phoebe.
Right, so